Hi and welcome to our Annabelle kit release. Boy, is this a pretty kit. Beauty, grace, a lot of really cool elements. Bit of a shabby chic feel to it for those of you that like that. The colors and a bit of the elements kind of lean towards that way. But anything that has to do when you're trying to make something pretty, be it an anniversary, an engagement, a wedding, just a simple encompassment, and you'll see this in the layout where you're just showing off the beauty and emotion that you get. This kit is going to be perfectly suited to that. In our bundled Annabelle, as you see here, you do save 20% off versus purchasing each of these coordinated items individually. But in purchasing it as a bundle, you get all 5 coordinated items, which are our FQB Annabelle, our 2 paper pack, our solids paper pack, our alpha, as well as our Lil Bits Annabelle additional elements pack. So there is lots of value here, and you can make so many things with it. Let's go ahead and have a peek and see everything in its entirety here, starting with the backs in our FQB. As you can see, gorgeous florals. Mary Fran always does such interesting and cool background papers so that you have great starting points. You have damasks in here so that you have great pairings for some of the florals. Look at this in the wood. Doesn't that look like it was decoupaged onto the wood? It just has such a really cool look about it, as well as in a few different colors, and you're going to see that in our papers because we want to make sure that you have the color of paper that you want to and choose to use depending on the palette that you're going with. Here's the florals. Again, beautiful florals. You can see the prettiness like I was talking about earlier. You can see how this would be something that would evoke love and romance and just that overwhelming feeling that you get for someone or something, whether it be your dog or your best friend or whatever it is. This kit is certainly going to suit that. Here is a layout back. This is something new that Mary Fran has put into this kit, and we'll see what you guys think of it. When you start, for those of you that are scrapbookers or doing mini albums, I know a lot of you like to use templates. So we thought, well, why not include a background paper that's kind of already done for you where you just simply slide in your photo. So that is kind of the point of that. There's 2 of them. There's one that's a little more elaborate, one that's a little plainer, so then that way you can do a little bit of embellishing if you want, but look at how beautiful all that coordinated paper is together, and you already have that. You can simply work with this, print it off, and print off a few other elements if you like to craft in physical paper, like I know a lot of you do, or you can use it as is, whether you're using it digitally or in paper, and away you go. That gives you such a great starting point. Let us know in the comments below if you like the idea. We want to know whether you like the idea and we should continue with that, or whether, you know what, it's not something I'd really use. That's okay. It's always good to hear from you. So the paper strips, you'll see how gorgeous these turn out when you use them. They're like little torn pieces of paper that have all been put on there. And I'll show you my card making idea at the end here of the video so you can get a sense of what it looks like actually used in something. Again, a few different colors of it so that you have the color palette that you're looking for. And here's a pastel. Obviously, there is the light and muted side of things that is so lovely to work with, and the pastels work so beautifully for that. Some polka dots as well. Again, like we said, we want more complicated and more simple patterns for you so that you have all kinds of things to work with. Stationary backs. Now, I don't know if this is showing up well on your screen, but this actually is a cream background paper in a big 12 by 12 sheet, and then with this gorgeous cluster up in the top corner here. There it goes. You can see it now how it looks here in this paper, that now there's a little more color to it. Some beautiful stripes to add a little bit of interest. Some tickings. Just a gorgeous kit. I hope you're getting the feel of this already, where you can see how this will come together for you. Here we talked about the wood. I exclaimed over the wood one that had the floral print on it. Well, here is the wood background just in a white, and as well as in a cream, so you can see you have those to use as well. For those you can create yourself and build yourself. Some great brads in the colors of this kit, as well as some brooches. It's always nice in these kits to have something that's a little more elegant, a little more refined. So depending on what you're using it for, you can see how it really is a much more mature, very adult theme Very beautiful theme that you can work with. Butterflies, gorgeous, as you can see, working through them. These are all, if you were to use a cutting machine, which we do own a Cricut, that will cut out all these little inserts inside the butterfly. Now the trick is getting it off that sticky mat, but if you were careful with them, then they come off no problem. But isn't that beautiful, where things will then show from underneath when you place this onto a paper, another element, whatever it is that you want to use it for. But simply spectacular. As well, there it is, a butterfly. We're fully filled in form. So if that was the way you chose to go, that is also a fantastic element to use. Some great buttons. Look at the intricate detail in that. Again, in the coordinating colors so that you have everything you need. Some fabulous clocks, simply enchanting. Time is always rushing by us, and having the time of my life. So time is certainly, and clocks are great usage items. Not only do we see them wildly in popular in home decor, but also in your layouts and cards, because time is such an important contributing factor and something we make light of when we're creating. Special moments, just a beautiful cluster where obviously this is opaque behind, so you can slide a photo in behind this. That is a great thing to have, where again, a perfect element to start with. If you're ever wondering creatively and you're like, okay, I love this all, but where should I start? Here's one fabulous element where you can have and build around it from there. Corner clusters, so that for those of you that are really creative and want to build yourself, there you have it. You can put those easily onto anything, any background paper, anything you want to use. Some flares with awesome centers to them to add that extra little bit of interest. The metal exterior ring looks so nice with them. It lends its air to that elegant and upscale theme. Flower clusters, again, for those of you who like to build yourselves rather than have Mary Fran cluster things too much for you. You certainly have all the individual components in order to build these wonderful items all by yourself. Frames, and again, individual items so that you can place them in exactly where you see fit. But here's a great idea, and we don't ever want you to think that frames are only for photos. Here Mary Fran has used a background paper, placed it in the center. Imagine putting one of the floral clusters in there. There's all sorts of things you can do. The butterflies, all kinds of different things you can do to A, adorn the frame, and B, use this as a highlighting element. Again, a great starting element. Here are some journal labels for you, because journaling is always so important. Our memories are good, or so we tell ourselves, but maybe they're not that great. So journaling things are awesome to have. The story of us, a beautiful label, and kind of encompasses what the kit is really about. Another gorgeous label, and you'll see how I use this in my card making idea, just later on in the video here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And boy, it really says it all. Live with a full and open heart. So that's kind of the genesis of where the kit came from, Mary Fran's creativity. Gorgeous ribbons in the damask. Don't those just have the feel of a little bit of a warp in the ribbon, like you would with a real ribbon, but yet still so elegant. A couple of stamps just to add that extra little hit of color and interest. Obviously this one has a great phrase on it, as does this one here. Beautiful memories. The stationery mat. These are great items, whether you're using this for journaling, whether you're using this as a main component. Imagine having this down a whole side of your layout or your card. Again, a fabulous item to start everything off. Pair that on, imagine the background paper coming off the side here, where this is kind of your focal point, but you have it offset. I hope you can kind of see where things are going and giving you a little bit of inspiration. Tags, and this is what I was talking about, the shabby chic feel and appeal. You can see that worn edges, great journal card, beautiful colors. You make everything wonderful. Again, beautiful things in order to write on, to journal with, and to utilize to enhance all of the things that you guys create. Love this life. Another beautiful one with the way Mary Fran has weathered it around the edges here in order to give it that vintage kind of appeal. Now here are some fabulous items. These are windows. Now you're going to see these. You're going to get the two paired together, and she even put a little bit of a frosted shadow in there so you can see the glass. It's not It is opaque, but not 100% if you want to say it that way. Here it is with a beautiful floral behind it. Here it is just in each individual halves in both formats. So, boy, take a look at those windows and think, oh, okay, now there's an element I really want to work with. Well, you've got lots of ideas and lots of options with them. Wooden frame, again, that kind of white weathered wood. And there it again it is, showing you that you can put background papers in it and adorn it in several different ways. And here it is with Live Life with a Full Heart, with a great sentiment already inside of it. A few word strips here that obviously you can see how the feel and what we were thinking when Mary Fran created it. This is kind of the whole feel and the thought. So we tried to give you some with phrases already on so you could just easily place them on, but there also are the blank ones there so that you can put on exactly the perfect sentiment that you wanted. And that, folks, is the FQB. So that's everything you get if you purchase just the FQB only. In our Little Bits, which is our additional elements pack, as always, these are more fully done items. So this is a great spot, and there's how Mary Fran chose to use one of the windows, and she paired a different background paper behind those windows that were clear. So you can see how versatile those elements are. But the Little Bits, getting back to that, for those of you that are, again, struggle creatively, just that, I know I do. You kind of think, okay, what do I want to do? I know I really like all the parts and pieces and all the colors and everything else, but how do I put this together really well? Well, Mary Fran does all the hard work and the Little Bits by giving you those items that you are kind of fully featured, fully done for you. So that way you can just simply place them in and create very quickly. There's great sentiments, obviously so well done with the font work, so unique, not just boring or things like that. Stamp sentiments, so that way you can place this anywhere. There is no white behind this or anything. This is clear behind it, so that way you can use it just as you would a stamp. Another sentiment for you as well. So like I said, you can put those on or over anything, and that is the way to use these stamps here. And as you can see, plenty of options for you. And again, like I said, Mary Fran's taken the hard work out by using lots of great fonts. I know we don't all have those in our computers. We purchase them and things like that for a commercial use. So those are great to be able to have, if you will, to utilize when they're done for you already. Again, a sentiment square, which is a beautiful starting point for you. You see this and you think, wow, understated beauty. Now you may want to embellish, you may want to add a photo, you may want to add a journaling card, whatever it is from all the other stuff that you've seen. But what a great starting point. It is just gorgeous. And beautiful squares as well in order to add in that sentiment or feeling that you're trying to achieve in your creation. So that's all the Little Bits. In the Annabelle 2 paper pack, I know I'm repeating myself, folks, for those of you that watch our videos every time, but for those of you that are new, you will see the same patterns, but these are in different colors. You will not get these papers in anything else. The 2 paper pack just has coordinated papers, again, that you will see the similar patterns in the FQB, but not in these colors. So if you're like us and like to create multiple things with a kit, you're not just creating one item, boy, it is well worth having that too. As well, the solids, they work like a cardstock for you so that you have the perfectly color matched. And as you can see, there's a muted line pattern in there, so it does give it some interest. But maybe you see this and you think, oh, I could put one of those sentiment stamps on here. I could use the windows over here. I could maybe put that large journal mat like I was showing you that was white, had the butterflies and florals on it. That could go in the side, and I was going to attach some photos. So you can certainly use them as standalone papers, but they're also intended so that way when you back items behind you know, photos or other elements, you want the coordinated paper that obviously matches in your cardstock. And lastly is our alpha, a beautiful alpha that embodies the whole feel of the kit. Floral, light, airy, and gorgeous. You get a full alphabet, as you'll see some punctuation in there, as well as a blank tile. If there was something maybe you wanted to write on there, maybe you wanted to embellish it, just to add in something else. Maybe you just wanted a period because you thought, okay, initials, I'm going to use this or whatever. But you'll see you get a full alpha in here in uppercase. A great thing to use to highlight names, dates, titles, places, emotions, somebody's initials, whatever it is. You can use these in such a great many formats, but do take and use these. These are great things that you don't want to miss out on. Some people don't choose, oh, I don't know if I'd use the alpha or not. But once you try it out, I'm telling you, you won't go back. You'll know that, oh, this is really something that enhances my layouts or cards or mini albums. So here is our layout just as some inspiration for you. As you can see, this is well laden with things. This is just has such interest to it. Mary Fran does such a great job. She has an eye for scale and she does the shadowing so nicely and everything else. But as you can see, it is about love and life and those in life that you love. Really isn't. The beautiful memories are everything that we have. And secondly is the card. This is the card that I made, and as you'll see there, it's backed with the white wooden background paper, and this is the torn strip paper that I was talking about. That was the one that I had highlighted in the FQB where I said how lovely it looks, and there's what it looks like on it. So all as I simply did was layer those two papers. I put in a couple of the floral clusters, and there is that tag. Again, I mentioned it in the FQB. It worked beautifully in here, as well as the story of us, and you are the best part of my day. That's how it came together. There is literally two background papers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements, and there it is. There's a card all put together. Didn't take me long at all. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you've enjoyed this kit, and I've given you some inspiration and some ways and creative ways to use this kit as well as any kit, but specifically this one. I hope that you'll take a stop by our store now. Check out the Annabelle collection because it is really something you'll love creating with. But before you go, take a look in the bottom right corner of the screen. You'll see our Nitwit Collections logo. Please click on that in order to be subscribed to our channel. It'll let you know when we have new videos available so you won't miss out on anything. And feel free to give us a thumbs up if you like the video. And again, like I mentioned earlier, leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought of things. If there was elements in there that you especially loved and you'd like to see more of those elements, or tell us what you thought of the layout background paper, if that was something you'd use and something that you would like to see in more kits. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks once again, and happy crafting.